All right, welcome back. I'm going to go over the Chapter 1 practice quiz. So if you have not taken it already, it does not count for a grade. So please go through and just look, try to answer them as best as you can, and then come back and watch this video so you know which ones you got right and which ones you need to improve and study a little bit more. Okay? So question 1 is the basic concept geographers use to explain relationships between places are blank. Okay, so there are a few different things that you need to remember. The best thing to do when answering these questions is to cross out and eliminate and then pick whatever's left. Okay, usually when we're in class in person, I do a whole activity to help you guys with these multiple choice questions. Unfortunately, since we're not in person face to face, I can't do that. So hopefully going over this video and this practice quiz will help you understand these multiple choice questions and build up your confidence before the test tomorrow or Friday. Okay, so with AP style questions, there are 5 answer choices to choose from. One of them is a completely out there stupid answer. Like, it's not even related to the question at all. 2 of them are wrong answers. They're related to the question, but they're just wrong. And then we're left with 2 answer choices. Most of the time, both these answer choices are correct, but one of them is better. Okay? It is up to you to find the best answer, not a correct answer. Okay, so these questions are designed to trick you, and I'm sorry, but that's just how AP and College Board works. I don't write any of these questions myself. I get them from AP and College Board because these are the style of questions they're going to use on the AP exam. So I'm not going to try to write questions on my own, and then once you get to the AP exam, they're a completely different style of questions. So we just need to be able to master these questions and get better at them. So best thing to do is to eliminate the bad choices, and then if you're down between 2, choose the best one you think. Okay? So with these questions, basic concept geographers use to explain relationships between places are blank. Okay, so some of the ones that we should cross off, and hopefully you crossed off, so crossing off some of these that just have nothing to do with place. Projection, meridian, parallel, that all has to do with maps and latitude and longitude. So you should cross that one off. As well as GIS and remote sensing. Yes, that is something that geographers use, but it's not something to explain relationships between places. Okay? And very rarely, if the question is asking you something, will it also be an answer? So you should also cross off B, because if it's asking you to explain relationships between places, place is probably not going to be a correct answer. Okay, so you should have hopefully got down between A and E and realized that A is a better answer because scale, place, and connection are how things interact and build relationships in places. Okay. Number 2, okay, which of the following geographic terms is a tool to analyze geographic data? Okay, so crossing off some of these, cross off anything that doesn't use geographic data. So projection is out, globalization is out. So you're down between 3 of these. Okay, so the keyword is to analyze geographic data. With GPS, it does use geographic data, but it does not analyze it. It's all about global positioning, telling you where you are. You should have got down between C and D. C is the correct answer because the GIS analyzes, collects, stores, blah, 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 with geographic data. Remote sensing, that's the one that has to do with satellites. So remote sensing probably wouldn't have been a good answer because it has nothing to do with satellites in the question. Number 3, okay, which of the following is not one of the types of distortion a cartographer must choose between when selecting a projection? Okay, just give you a heads up. There are a lot of which of the following is not questions, or which of the following is not true. So you're going to have to be able to be conscious of when it says not, to make sure that you're selecting the one that's not going to apply, so it's the correct answer. So I know it's kind of a little backwards thinking, but you guys will get used to it. Okay, so there are 4 types of distortions that cartographers have to choose between. You need to find the one that's not. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. So looking at our answer choices: relative size, scale, shape, direction from one place to another, and then distance. Okay, the one that is not one of the 4 is scale. Okay, scale is different on every single map, and it doesn't distort the map at all. It's just the units we use to measure on maps. So it is not a distortion. Scale is not a distortion. Okay, number 4. Okay, time zones approximately correspond with blank. Okay, so looking at these, there are some that we can cross off that are just irrelevant. World regions is out, globalization is out, and scale is out. So hopefully you got down between latitude and longitude. The correct answer is longitude. Longitude tells us time. Latitude tells us climate, because the closer you are to the equator, the warmer your temperatures, the further you are, the lower your temperatures. Okay. Number 5. Okay, which way of describing place is the best for understanding the importance of its location? Okay, so looking at some of the things that we can cross off, toponym and place name, those are kind of the same thing. They're very, very similar to each other, and that's how a place gets its name. And that's not what we're saying here. So cross off toponym, cross off place name, and you should have also crossed off region, because region is a different theme from place. So you should have got between site and situation, understanding the importance of a location and describing it is going to be situation. Okay, remember, site is its exact location. That doesn't really tell you a lot of its importance, but situation, describing it, is going to tell you the importance. So number 6, okay, a vernacular region is defined as blank. Okay, there are 3 different types of regions that we talked about: formal, functional, and vernacular. Okay, this is the last one. So hopefully you should have crossed off E, because that's a toponym. Okay, you should have crossed off B, because that's describing a functional region. And you should have crossed off D, because that is situation. So you should have got down between A and C. Okay, both of these are good answers. Like, they're good, but A is a better answer. Yes, a vernacular region could be an area with a specific dialect or type of speech, but that's not the only thing that can be a vernacular region. Vernacular region is something that exists in one's mind, which encompasses a lot more than just dialect. Okay, number 7. Okay, a geographer investigating the what people take care of definition of culture would be likely to ask blank. So remember, culture is what people care about and what people take care of. So this is asking what people take care of. What kind of question would you ask somebody? So looking at these, hopefully you crossed off E, how followers of a religion mark sacred places, because that's something people care about. Hopefully you crossed off D, what factors aid the geographic growth and decline of a language. Not even related to the question it's asking. So this is one of those stupid answer choices that is totally random and incorrect. Okay, you should have also crossed off A, why ethnic conflict is more pronounced in some countries. Again, that's something that people care about, not take care of, so you should have crossed that out. So hopefully you got down between B and C. B is the correct answer because house sizes and styles vary around the world. A house is something we take care of. Okay, hopefully you take care of the house you live in, whether that's cleaning your room or not cleaning your room, making sure the outside of your house is presentable. How big your house is. That's something that we take care of. So that's the correct answer here. Number 8, blank serves as a counterpoint to culture and economic globalization. So we're finding something that's the counterpoint, the opposite of cultural and economic globalization. So the opposite of globalization is going to be local diversity. So the opposite of global is going to be local. Number 9, what changes in distribution of MLB teams occurred from 1952 to 2015? So looking at our map right here, this is our first map. They're kind of all centered right here. And then in this map, they're kind of spread out. So looking at our answer choices, obviously the first thing we should have crossed off is E. Okay? It clearly changed somehow, so E is out. Okay? A, it's talking about increasing density and more clustered. B is decreased density and more clustered. C is increased density and more dispersed. Or D, decreased density only. So looking at these maps, we have more teams and they're further away. So our correct answer here is C. We increase the density and increase dispersed concentration. Okay. Number 10, geography is particularly interested in cultural identity because, okay. So why are we interested in people's cultural identity? What does that really tell us about geography? So some of the things that you should have crossed off is D. Geography studies a lot of different things. No duh. Okay? Everything studies a lot of different things. D is not a good answer at all. It is very vague, doesn't really tell us much, so D is out. If we cross D out, we also cross E out. If D is wrong, E is wrong. Okay, so we're down between these three. You should have crossed off B because culture is not just what people care about, but what also people take care of. So B is only half correct. So you should have got down between A and C. The correct answer here is going to be A because the level of equality some groups face varies across space. Okay, so that's why cultural identity is important because depending on where you go, there's going to be a different level of equality that you need to address in order to know somebody's culture, in order to know the geography. Okay, number 11, which region would it be statistically best to be born into poverty? Okay, so looking at these, looking at our different regions here, okay, our correct answer. Oh, can you guys see the regions on this map? I don't think you can. I really don't like this question, so I'm just going to throw this out. I don't like it. We're not going to go over it. Okay. Number 12. Okay, which of the following represents more of a spread than a growth? Okay, so which one of our diffusions really spreads across an area rather than just grows from one central location? Okay, if you notice these answer choices, as long as you know the definitions to these words, you should have got the right answer. Because stimulus, contagious, hierarchical are all versions of expansion diffusion. And not four answer choices can't be correct. So we're going to look for the one that's not a part of it, which is D, relocation diffusion. That's more of a spread because it's taking it from one place to another rather than expanding from one center and growing outward. So D is the correct answer. Number 13, sustainability includes consideration of all but which of the following. So again, one of those questions, you got to find the one that's wrong to be correct. Okay? So with sustainability, what do we look at and what do we not look at? So looking at our answer choices, B is the correct answer. Changing definitions of resources mean there is no absolute limit. That's wrong. There is a limit on what we can use in order to be sustainable. I mean, if we use all of it, it's gone. That is a limit. Okay, so B is the correct answer here. Number 14, human geography considers physical environment because blank. Okay, so looking at this, why does the environment have an impact on human geography? So looking at these, some of our answer choices that we can cross off. Globalization, yeah, that's out. Okay, we're not talking about the entire world being involved. We're talking about human environment interaction. So D is out. C is also out because region is only one aspect of geography. That's not going to be a correct answer. Looking at these, the correct answer is E. Climate, water, and landforms heavily influence human interaction or human activities. So those are physical sciences, the physical environment that dictate our human activities. Okay. Number 15, stating Seattle is a world center for coffee roasting because of its rainy, cool climate is an example of blank. Okay, so since Seattle has a rainy, cool climate, it is a good center for coffee roasting. This is some of these that we can cross off. Renewable resource, no, that's not right. Okay, not what we're looking for here. Sustainability thinking, again, we're using the resource. It doesn't really have to do with sustainability. Really, you should have got down between culture ecology, possibilism, and environmental determinism. Okay, the correct answer here is environmental determinism because the environment is key for the coffee roasting. Okay, so the environment determines that it's good for coffee, so that's why they are a world center. Last question here. California and Netherlands both have blank. Okay, so we're thinking of what they have in common. They're both different examples of how you address sustainability, but what do they have in common? A is out because only California has a shortage of water. Too many people for the amount of land. That is out. That is true for California, but not for the Netherlands. Okay. C is still in contention. D and E are opposite of each other. California is unsustainable. Netherlands is sustainable. So D and E are both out. So the only thing we're left with is C. Considerable areas for land devoted to agriculture. Okay. So hopefully this helped you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. If you don't have any questions, good luck on your test. You only have 1 hour to complete it. So please make sure you are conscious of that. And good luck. Let me know if you need anything.